Literally flying straight in.
We're just going to go.
Guys, it's Beaven and Wright.
Oh, hey.
It's literally Beaven and Wright. We're back with another exclusive episode. I apologise for missing it last week. I ran out of time.
We got swamped.
I definitely got swamped.
Yeah, the work things and the life things.
Life happened and it meant that we missed we didn't miss the pod. I just didn't edit the pod and now it's a week too soon or too late. So, Scott.
Hey ho.
Yeah, I wasted an hour of Scott's time.
No, it wasn't a waste because I enjoyed complaining about Nicholas Jackson.
It was just a great
But I can do that again this week because he was also awful against Bournemouth.
For fuck's sake, not again. I got this debating you every fucking time.
Nkunku's the man, though.
There is... Well, that's why in this pod I wore my Nkunku Chelsea shirt. But there's a very important story that Scott was about to tell me off camera.
Wow.
Now, this morning, just for context, I woke up and found a behemoth of a spider in my living room. It was not that big. No, it was not that big. I can say. Look.
Show the people the picture.
Right. Okay.
Don't zoom in because it makes it look bigger.
I will. Well, I have to zoom in for you to see it.
So exactly. It's not that big.
It was big. Look at that. Look at the size of that fucker.
It's quite a beast.
Look at the size of that fucker.
It's quite a meaty fellow.
Yes. It did not survive the morning.
Well, so what I was going to tell you is now spiders in the UK faze me less than they did previous after I moved to Cyprus. So I moved to Cyprus, when did we go? 2016, moved out there for a job. First day I arrived, got off the plane, got taken to this apartment that we'd rented. A great little apartment. On the balcony there was a swing seat. So, but all the cushions were piled up inside. I was like, fine, we'll do that. So I'm there, like, moving the cushions out. Took the last one out. As I've picked it up, I've glanced on the floor. There's an old, like, balled up pair of socks. And I was like, okay, fine. Someone's left a pair of socks there. I'll throw them in the bin when I get back in. Went outside, put the cushion on the swing seat outside, walked back in, and the socks had moved. So a balled up pair of socks about this big had moved. I was very confused.
Oh.
And then they ran across the floor. Because it wasn't a balled up pair of socks, it was a Cypriot tarantula, which I only then found out they had.
Did it look like a ball of socks?
Yeah, because it was all like, you know, when they're kind of like huddled up. I just thought, first purpose, it was like probably the size of a mouse, balled up, like as they do when they're like crunched up, probably sleeping or something. And I'd woken it, and it ran, and I'm not joking, I pretty much nearly flew back to England straight away. I was like, I'm not living here. I'm not having the job. I can't do it. And I basically was just like, who can I call? My house is infested with tarantulas. Who can I call?
Was it actually infested with tarantulas?
No, it was just one.
Okay.
But, I mean...
At the time?
I had a panic attack, basically. I basically had to sweep it out onto the balcony and down onto the balcony below. So the lady below just had a tarantula in her house for God knows how long.
The lady below got murdered.
And then I immediately started Googling, like, what the fuck Cyprus in my phone. And it was like, oh yeah,
there's a fuck Cyprus.
But apparently there's a native species of tarantula that was introduced to the island to help control pests. And that was the first I'd heard of it, and then immediately regretted moving out there.
The pest they'd controlled was Scott Beaven.
literally, they just stopped me from it. Shit me up. However, I have then dealt with two others in my house when we lived out there. So, upon moving back to the UK, seeing like our normal house spiders, even though this year they are particularly big house spiders, I'm not as worried about them as I had been in previous years.
That I wouldn't have stayed in Cyprus. I would have flown back. And will I be going to Cyprus on holiday? No.
It was not a good day for me.
No,
honestly,
I'm traumatized.
I even get.
I only listen to the story.
Oh mate, I get freaked out talking about it. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. I'm not a big spider person for the people at home. Animals love them, but spiders are the ones that get me, to be honest.
Fucking hell! So it sounds.
They're big.
Very sticky.
Google them on your phone. Cyprus tarantulas. They are big.
That sounds like a sticky situation.
They have they grow bananas out there, so in the banana fields is generally where they live. But every now and again, they find their way into people's houses.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that. I cannot stand.
They're big. They're like
Stand
size
spiders.
of your hand sort of thing.
Yeah, no,
They're quite big.
I'm good.
Oh yeah, not a big fan.
No, I mean I thought that fucker in my house was big.
Yeah.
That is a different level.
Snakes and stuff, I can deal with snakes. They're okay. Most creepy crawlies I'm not too bad with.
I just can't deal with bugs at all. I hate them
Spiders
with a
are
passion.
really
Bugs are my like least favourite thing in the world.
Yeah, I'm not a bug person.
Other than like Jimmy Savile, it's like I hate Jimmy Savile.
he's above spiders, but
Then
yeah.
it
goes pedos, spiders,
Thibaut Courtois, Romelu Lukaku,
anything to do with Man United,
and then spiders.
and then
Mason
spiders.
Mount.
There's spiders.
Spiders. Yeah. So.
Wowzers.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well.
What's on the agenda
that
today?
That sounded like a very sticky situation.
Yeah.
And.
But I'm over it now.
Speaking of sticky situations, because we love a good segue here.
We love a smooth transition.
We're going to talk about the sticky situation that was Chelsea versus Bournemouth.
Can I start?
It can't be about Nicholas Jackson. Just talk to me about the game initially. We'll get on to that.
I think we got away with one. Bournemouth played really well. I want to throw credit to Bournemouth.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got dominated in the first half. They hit the bar, penalty save as well. Can I just put a little bit of credit for Bob Sanchez? I thought he had a great game.
His best
made a
game,
few good saves.
Best game in a Chelsea.
Yeah,
shirt.
he made a few great saves, which that's the bit I like about him.
And his distribution was good that game as well.
I'm not too worried about that, but he made good saves, which is what we need him to do. Keep a clean sheet when we're up against it. Well done, Robert Sanchez. Good work. We were outplayed though. Bournemouth looked really good.
We were outplayed for.
We got away with
about
one.
60 minutes, I think.
I can't decide whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. So, for me, bad thing that we got outplayed by Bournemouth for most of the game, and realistically, Bournemouth should have won. Yeah. I think if they'd have scored the penalty, they'd have won easy. However, I'm taking a positive out of it that we actually didn't play that well, but managed to sneak a win.
Yeah,
because that's what good teams do,
which
right?
Barely happened last season. I think
we played well and lose last year.
The only game that I can think where we played well and played shit and won was the Man United game, the 4-3.
Yeah, that was probably that bad.
That was probably the only game where I can hold my hand up and say.
I think good teams will play bad and sneak a win.
Yeah.
I remember Man United doing it all the time when I was a kid.
Well, maybe I think our quality in the team saw us through that game. I would say that the lineup, it was a bit difficult for Maresca because he had obviously no right backs in the squad. But had only one fit central midfielder, which I think is nuts, by the way.
Yeah, I mean we've got 1,000 players and none of them can play.
And when you have Leslie Ugachukwu who started for Southampton, you have Andre Santos absolutely balling out for a league, and you just think wouldn't it have been better just to keep one of them and play them as a holding midfielder? Instead, he played Renato Vega there.
He didn't do a great job.
Not in the first half. I think the first 20 minutes he looked nervous, like really nervous. Yeah. He was late to every tackle. Didn't really win any second balls. Just was really shit actually. But as the game went on, he actually got. As the game
off strong, yeah.
He grew into the game. He did very well. I think the same. I thought Caicedo was excellent against Bournemouth. Thought it was. He was absolutely a powerhouse. He was winning everything, literally winning everything, and it was really good to see.
And Nkunku finishing as well.
And Nkunku of
big fan of someone playing up front that can finish a chance.
Give me a balloon celebration any day. But the main man that changed the game has to be Jadon Sancho. What a debut!
Wow,
really good debut.
He looked everything I would want in a winger. He did.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
He was that guy.
Skeptical.
Yeah.
And I will admit that freely and openly.
And I still am. To a certain degree.
Still are. However, he played really well. And I'm a big fan now.
Yeah, I think this genuinely, if we get the career resurgent Jadon Sancho that we could get, we have got an absolute baller on our hands.
Well, did you see Enzo Maresca's press conference today? He said he has 8 attacking options. He has Sancho. And
he listed them for the positions.
Mudryk left wing.
Yep.
He has
Palmer and
João Felix number 10. Madueke and Neto on the right.
Yep.
And then he has Jackson and Nkunku up front. Does that mean he sees Nkunku as a number 9?
He prefaced that afterwards, saying, literally just after that quote, saying he also sees Nkunku playing as a 10. Nkunku can also play out wide. he doesn't like playing up wide, but sometimes he needs to for the team. That was his quote.
I'd like to see him play as a 9. I genuinely would.
My only concern with him playing as a 9 is I don't think he leads the line.
No, he's not like a traditional
But we
big
don't
centre
but I
forward,
don't-
but we don't necessarily need
But
that.
I don't think we play too many balls in where you need a player who's going to be able to bring others in all the time and be able to run the channels all the time, and that's not really who he is. Regardless of what you think of Nicholas Jackson, which I know isn't positive,
Well, whatever
least-
gave you that idea?
at least he can run the line well, and he makes chances for himself a lot of the time because he always makes the runs.
Yeah, but then he misses them.
He didn't have the best game against Bournemouth. To be fair, we didn't really give him a lot to work with either. I think he had one good chance in the game, which was
That
a
he
good,
obviously missed.
was a good save by the goalkeeper. It wasn't a flat miss. It was a good. It was actually a very good save by the goalkeeper. But you know that question will still hang over him, saying an elite striker scores it, and I think that's the difference. But I still like, you know, for what it's worth. You know, I think the first half we were off it, really off it, losing every second ball. It's almost like we felt we could get away with just, you know, playing like
50%.
playing
50%.
slow 50% all the time.
We'll go to Bournemouth. We'll boss it. It's easy. 50%.
No, actually, I actually have something I need to talk about this game that drove me insane. I had to watch it for 65 minutes of the game. Axel Disasi at right back. Oh my god.
My version of Nicholas Jackson is Axel Disasi for you.
Axel Disasi
Take the floor, my friend.
was the most pathetic excuse of a defender I have ever seen. Every time he got the ball, he lost it. It felt like, do you remember Bakayoko against Watford? Where just everything he did was just horrendous.
Not specifically,
but
but
there's a performance that's well known by the Chelsea fan base, which was Bakayoko against Watford, which is like genuinely one of the worst performances I've ever seen. The only thing that was missing from Disasi's performance, he didn't get sent off for a yellow card. One of the only players that didn't get a yellow card in the game, by the way.
wow, how many? 14?
Yeah, just all because of players talking back to the referee, which I think is nuts. But oh my god, was he bad? There was this one moment where he was getting run at. He was on a 1v1. I can't remember. I think it might have been against Evan Nilsson, their striker.
Yeah.
And the ball, the ball just hit his leg, and then he just let it go through. Like, he didn't try to recover it. All it was like a clearance. But because he's so stupid, he just couldn't get the ball out of his feet. And then all of a sudden they were in on goal. And then we saw Tosin defend the exact same situation in the second half, and he stopped it, and he got the ball back in possession. Genuinely, Axel Disasi is one of the worst things I hate about this Chelsea squad. Like, he is awful. He's so bad. Like, every single defender in the squad is better than him, and Badiashile is in the squad.
He's not that bad.
He's not that good either, and that's my problem. I think Benoit Badiashile is a mistake-ridden player who just makes mistakes all the time. On his best, he's literally probably a fantastic centre back, but that's 1 in 6 games. Yeah. And we can't be, you know, with Chelsea, you can't afford to be playing well in 1 in 6 games. But wow, Disasi was bad. He's a shocking centre back. He's an even worse right back.
He's a worse.
And like, I think we've only had one good Disasi performance in a Chelsea shirt, which was against Man City, because we were behind the ball the entire time and he didn't have to run in any channels.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, just honestly was just abysmal, absolutely abysmal, and I never want to watch him play again, but I know for a fact he's going to start a right back tomorrow.
When? How long is Gusto out for?
We don't know. He's not even in training yet.
Really?
Reece
James has been injured
again. James isn't training yet.
He had a setback apparently.
Shock.
In his hamstring recovery.
It genuinely is so concerning how injury prone Reece James is. So concerning.
I'm a big Reece James fan. I was always willing to give him as much time as he needed. And I still will. I'd keep him on the books till he was 30. Even if he was injured the whole time, I wouldn't let him go. However, I am starting to question what is going on. Why is he getting so many hamstring injuries? Does he just need
Body's made of tracing paper.
Yeah, but surely there's surgery. Go to America, see a specialist.
He's done the surgery and he got injured again.
There's got to be something going on.
Do you know what
man.
I saw?
Changes
If you look
regime,
back when he was
stretching.
19, he was a lot like when he first broke onto the scene at Chelsea in the Lampard season. He was a lot skinnier. He's built,
Lose a bit of weight, yeah.
Yeah.
He's bulked up.
I feel like, and it's not like fat. He's not like fat, but I think genuinely for Reece James, he probably needs to shed some timber to give his muscles a bit of a bit like. He's a big guy. He's a strong guy. Like he's a very strong, powerful
I
player.
know all about shedding timber.
And that's just when you beat up Jurriën Timber from Arsenal. But yeah, I think genuinely it does have to change big time.
Something's got to change. You can't keep just getting in.
It's either that or his position's got to change.
Yeah, do you just stick him in centre midfield and being like, don't bomb full, just chill?
Or centre back. Playing like that right-sided centre back role.
Nah, not sure.
That Maresca likes to play.
I'd rather see him in centre mid, to be fair.
Like holding midfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's got the
He's a big, strong guy.
He's got the passing range for
strikes
that.
the ball properly. Yeah.
I think there's a wider
that.
conversation for that to be had for Reece James, but it does beg the question that do we need to go and sign another right back in January, which I do, which I think is mental when you've got, I think, genuinely on form two of the best right backs in the league. But Gusto's quite injury prone as well. But I think that's because he's getting overplayed. He plays so many minutes for us because of Reece James being injured that.
Oh my god.
No, not this
I
argument
just
again.
thought of something.
What?
No. It's slightly off topic. Segues into something Rodri said this week.
Which was?
The players are going to go on strike because they play too many football matches. Which goes into exactly what I was saying about last week about they should be able to play a game every single day of the week. 2 hours of football, please.
But they do more than that though. Like in across a week, and I think a lot of it is like I remember Conor Gallagher ran like 15k in a football match like one time, and you're
fine.
like,
Mo Farah does that every day. Well, used to.
But he remember they do it in like much shorter episodes, whereas the football's more intense over a considerable amount of time. Also, there's a lot more power involved in football.
I'm still not having it. Like,
all right, well, regardless, you're not
conversation for a different day.
You're not a scientist or a doctor. I don't
No,
think
I'm a
you can
human
comment.
being who's played football and has to work 40 hours a week.
Yeah, who doesn't play at the level they play at?
It doesn't matter. They should be able to play football. They are fit enough. They have the best doctors, the best nutritionists, the best physios, the best trainers. They should be able to play football for 2 hours a day. They play for 4 hours a week. 4 hours, that's all. And they're all tired. Oh, God. Don't play if you don't want to be a footballer.
All the travelling?
What? Travelling.
Up and down the country?
On private jets.
They don't
In luxury.
They try to take off the private jets now unless they're going abroad.
Do they?
Mhm.
Oh, in luxury coaches. Stay in the best hotels. Come on, give me a break. Play football. I reckon they should play 4 games a week. Let's see how you like it then. If you don't want to play, don't play. Mate, I'll play 4. Give me 50 grand a year, I'll play 4 games a week.
And then you'll get loads of injuries.
I won't get any injuries.
You'll get loads.
I'm never injured. Man, I'm flexible.
Can we talk about the other week where your back has gone?
Yeah, my back did hurt the other week.
Oh, okay.
That was from golf though, don't worry about it.
Oh, right.
That was from a real sport.
And even less a movement score that old people go to play because it's not as impactful on their bodies.
No. Athletes. We are athletes.
Yes, Derek at
No,
Silvermere
not
would
Derek.
agree.
It's not Derek down the road. You look at the guys on tour. Those guys are athletes, man. Flexible, strong, powerful, good looking. Oof. All golf pros the same. They should play football more. Come on, man.
What golf pros? I agree.
Yeah, we would all do fine. We do a great job.
Yeah, I don't think Scott's. I think Scott's version is very based off opinion rather than any facts about how the human body works.
2 hours a day. Come on, play football. I did sports science at uni. I know about this.
Kidney didn't use it very well.
Yeah, I don't remember any of it. I did it.
But yeah, I do. I think there is a conversation to be had about it. The ownership sort of drama's settled down a bit. We haven't really heard much about it.
Nothing's come out about that.
So, to be honest, I kind of like. I'd rather nothing come out about it.
Do it behind closed doors. And don't tell us. We don't care.
Stop briefing journalists about the other person. It's really draining, beyond belief. The good news is we've got Enzo Fernandez back for the game, the next game, which is West Ham lunchtime.
Kickoff.
Yeah, lunchtime kickoff. So we got Enzo back for West Ham.
Home?
Away, I think.
Is it away?
Let's check. We probably should do this research before we do the pod.
I think I'd prefer for it to be away. We play better away from home generally.
Yeah, because the fans in the stadium are so toxic to the squad right now. That's a topic. That is a topic. Yeah, it's away.
away. Fine.
That's actually a good point. I think a lot of the fact Stamford Bridge and even the players, some of the players might have said it. We don't like playing there at the moment because of how hostile it is in the stadium, which I think is insane. The away support's always really good, even when we're losing. The away support's really good. But yeah, I agree. In the last couple of seasons, the home support is very on edge.
Well, I think,
But to be fair, and then when we do sing, I've been to the games. They don't sing.
I'm going to back the fans here. I think we've been let down by our team too much in the last 3 years. Not putting in 100% effort, not showing quality when we need them to show quality, rolling over and just dying basically against teams. I went to a game last season against Brighton at home maybe, and we scored first. We went 1-0 up.
The Gallagher goal.
Yeah.
I was there.
Everybody knew we were going to lose the game. You could just get that sense of feeling that, oh, we scored a 1-0 up. That's going to give us false hope. And then about 10 minutes later, they scored, and then
It was that Encicio absolute screamer.
Yeah, but the fans just knew. You could just get a sense of it around the
But
stadium.
that season was very much like that though. The entire time, like we knew it was going wrong as soon as we sacked Thomas Tuchel. Then brought in Graham Potter, who's the wettest flannel of a manager I've ever seen in my life.
Give us something to cheer. Put a tackle in.
And the fact that
something.
The fact that João Felix was the best thing about that season says a lot, because he was a lone player who barely played under Frank Lampard when the managers changed over. And even Lampard came out and said the players were done. The players were done. Under Pochettino, it got marginally better. I think we had a lot of okay performances, but defensively we were abhorrent. Like genuinely one of the worst defences we've ever had was under Pochettino. No surprise that when Trevor Chalobah came back, it suddenly got quite a lot better.
Big Trevor and Thiago Silva.
The fact that Trevor Chalobah isn't at the squad and Axel Disasi just blows my mind. I hate Axel Disasi so much.
He's not even in the. He's not even like gone out on. Oh no, where's he gone? He's gone Palace. Yeah, he's gone
which
Palace.
is a great deal for them. Suits the squad.
Forget that every week.
Suits the squad as well. He's playing with a lot of teammates he's played with at youth level, so a lot of people that he knows. But I just think it's insane, really, to be honest with you. Fans, I do think though that in the stadium it's the atmosphere is like awful. Really is awful. Like the only end that sings is Matthew Harding in the entire stadium. Like, because everyone else is in, like, even like Chelsea fans in the middle, like there'll be a couple of kids who might try and start a chant. I've been there. It's awful. Like, it's just like, even there's Chelsea fans and all you're sitting there and doing is moaning the whole game. Sing, chant, get behind your players. Like, fair enough if you don't disagree with what's going on, and I get it. I'm not sitting there saying I'm supportive of everything that we do, because I'm not. But there has to be some kind of change, like in the way that we support the players, because right now, by the way, this is a squad that is, regardless whether you like it or not, is still completely new.
I do think they've
had one season together, and that's not enough for literally 11 new players. And there's not one player in our team now this season anyway that was with us 3 years ago. Not one.
So when you've been to the stadium recently, would you say that there's a lot of people that sit in expensive seats that are not really football or Chelsea fans?
I say they're spectators.
They're there for the Instagram pictures.
Yeah.
And don't really have that strong of a connection with the club. Maybe they bought a shirt and they're like, oh yeah, we support Chelsea. Yeah.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, you don't have to sing and chant all the time to support your club. But when it's like 80% of the stadium that isn't chanting, like singing behind your squad.
Isn't it?
Whereas the away support, everyone's on their feet singing and giving it the big
A lot of tourists as well.
Yeah, which, by the way, I haven't got a problem with. But I feel like we need to be injecting more match-growing, passionate fans. I think the price of the tickets don't help either.
Genuinely, I can't afford to go.
Yep.
Like, I have a 6-year-old that I would take. My missus would go. I can't afford to spend... What, it's going to be 50 quid a ticket minimum?
Almost £200. Yeah.
Almost, yeah, plus train fare from Reading. Like, and then maybe a burger or a programme or something. Mate, it's going to be over a £200 day for me to go to the football.
Yeah.
I can't do that every week.
No.
Like, it's very rare occasion that I will get to go. Maybe when someone who I know has got a season ticket, they can't make it. But again, that's just me. I'll go by myself. I can't afford to take people.
I think this is gonna boil your blood in a second. When I went to the Chelsea match, against the pre-season game against Milan, Dad brought his baby in, right on his lap. The steward comes over saying, "Does the baby have a ticket?"
Right.
To which the man replied, "No, it's a baby." And the steward went, "Okay, you're gonna have to leave because the baby doesn't have a ticket."
Wow.
And the seats are full. And they removed the man from the stadium with the baby, leaving the rest of the family in there.
So in a football stadium, you can't sit a baby on your lap, but on an aeroplane, you have to sit a baby on your lap.
Yeah, you need a ticket for the baby.
Where's the consistency?
Even if it doesn't have a seat.
Because we took our little boy when he was 6 months on a plane, and we said, right, we've had to pay for him to be on the plane. Can we have a seat? And they were like, no, he has to sit on your lap the whole way. Yeah. Wet.
But apparently he needed a ticket to sit in the stadium. This little kid, even though he was never going to sit in a seat. And my uncle, my uncle was like, "Are you fucking joking? Like it's a baby,
literally a baby. Just
like
they're like this big.
Like they can't do anything. They're not disrupting. They're not even watching the fucking match because
I have to be honest though, I would question a dad taking a baby to the football.
He was with his whole family.
Oh, okay.
Like, we're talking like mum, daughter, kids, but they didn't. The whole family didn't speak English. It was just the dad that did.
It was just a big group of them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
But
it was just him and the baby. That's a rogue move.
Yeah.
Look after the baby today, husband. And he's like, yeah, we'll do.
Yeah. Just launching him along the circle and district line.
Just crowd surfing.
Yeah, just throwing the baby out on Wimbledon and picking him back up later.
No, if he was with the whole family, that's fine. But they gotta let the baby, man. You can't charge 50 quid for a baby.
I just found it nuts. I just found it absolutely nuts that was even a thing. Like, how is that even a thing?
The world's gone, mate. The world's gone. Not the game. The game's gone, but the world's gone. Well, the world is just the worst place now. I just can't.
Yeah, it's...
Why do we bother?
It's ridiculous. Scott, I think that wraps up Chelsea quite nicely.
Yeah.
And we always freeball these podcasts. We never actually do it. But is there something burning on your mind that you think, do you know what? I want to talk about that today. About life.
Do you know what? The Champions League is annoying me.
Okay.
I'm really struggling with the Champions League new format.
Mm-hmm.
Entry into the Champions League. Spain get 5 teams. I think it's Spain, right?
We missed out on that. We were meant to have 5 and we missed out on the spot.
Why do you finish 5th and get in the Champions League? What? Okay. The Champions League, I was chatting to a guy at work about it today. The format really annoys me. Like, there's so many games. You're not even... And the problem is as well, the champions are not actually represented in the tournament. The Swedish champions are not in it. The Norwegian champions are not in it. The Polish champions are not in it. The Cypriot champions are not in it. The Turkish champions are not in it. Like, why are the champions of each nation not representing their nation in the Champions League? It's the Champions League. We've got teams that are 5th and 4th in the Champions League. What are you champion of? Champion of 5th place? You shouldn't even be in the Champions League. I don't like it. It's too diluted. Why not? So you want the best teams in the Champions League? Cool. Just have the top 10 from England and the top 10 from Spain play each other. Plus Bayern Munich. Why not have that?
Bayern Munich.
Why not have that?
Fuck the Italians.
Why not have that?
That's basically what it is now.
I know that's what it is. It's awful. I don't want to see 1,000 English teams and 1,000 Spanish teams and a couple of Italian teams. I want to see teams from everywhere. Even if they're terrible, I don't care.
Yeah, you can watch that.
Yeah, in the Conference League, they'll be playing us.
It's called the Conference League.
Yeah.
And we watch Napkins play us.
But the problem is, the more English and Spanish and Italian teams you put in, the more the money goes to those countries, the more it filters down their leagues, and the more the rest of the European countries get left behind. They've got no chance.
But you say that. I think that other than Real Madrid, genuinely, the rest of football's been left behind England.
No, but the money filters down the leagues.
If you whack like West Ham in Serie A, they finish second.
So the Championship is the 8th most valuable league in the world. Right? We looked it up today. We googled it. It was like England, Spain, Italy, Bundesliga, Brazilian League was up there.
Okay.
MLS was up there.
Yeah, because of American.
Weirdly,
money.
And then the Championship was 8th. So it was above the Portuguese league.
Yep.
It was above the Dutch league. It was above the Belgian league. It was above big countries. These are big footballing countries. Above the Greeks, above the Turks. So these are big countries. The Championship was up there. Mm-hmm. And then we went down a bit further and there was like Serie B, La Liga B, Bundesliga B. So their second divisions were more valuable, generated more money than a lot of the other leagues in Europe. So like, you've got to give those leagues, like, you can't put the champions of Poland and the champions into the first qualifier. They've got to play 15 games to get in the Champions League. Put them straight in. I think every champion of every league should be in the Champions League. There's how many teams in Europe? 40 odd?
Around that, probably.
Roughly. So fair enough. Maybe some of them
but
need to go in a playoff.
But do you not think that... I disagree.
I think one team, the champions from every league, should go into the Champions League.
I do disagree with you.
All the rest of the teams go in the Europa League.
I do disagree with you here.
I know you do. It's kind of like back to how it was when it was European Cup and UEFA Cup. Then you would make the Europa League way better. That would actually be for the fans. That's got all the good teams in it. But it's still not a prized Champions League.
The champion that Champions League becomes, right, means that unless like something ridiculous happens, there will be no upsets whatsoever. It'll be the most predictable thing in the world. Real Madrid will win it every single time.
They win it every single time anyway because they're the best team. Surely that's what. You win your league, it gives you a chance to beat all the other league. If you want to win the Champions League, beat Real Madrid in the league. If you can't do it, you can't do it.
I agree that you shouldn't have I think top 4 teams from each country.
Too many.
So
Too many.
Okay. So just on that argument then.
Tell me.
Just on that argument, that puts our Champions League. So that means we would not have won that.
We shouldn't have got in it.
We would not have had our best ever night you would not have had your best ever night as a Chelsea fan without that rule.
Mate, we finished 4th. We should have won the Champions League when we won the Premier League in 2005, 2006, or in 2010 when we were one of the best teams. We should have won it then.
Well, we should have, but we didn't. So
we didn't. So why did we finish 4th and then get the chance to go in the Champions League?
You completely devalue the Champions League if you do that. Like, completely. The whole point of the Champions League
I don't think you do.
But you do, because the Europa League... So what is meant to be, right, is the best teams that have, and the best footballing nations, because they're the ones that continuously compete at a high level, get high amount of points, high amount of goal scorers, touted teams that are viewed by watch figures. They get put into the Champions League because it's a spectacle. People want to see, like, when we have random games against teams like Atletico Madrid or Porto or
yeah, but you'd still get them. They'd just be in the Europa League.
But then it completely devalues the Champions League.
It doesn't, because you're still the champions of Europe.
But there's absolutely no point in having a Champions League then.
But you're still the champions of Europe.
No one's going to want to watch Manchester City versus the Polish champions.
No.
On TV.
But then you watch Europa League football. That's fine.
But then there's no money in it.
Nobody watches Europa League football anyway.
Yeah, but there's no money in it.
Who cares about the money?
The football clubs.
Yes, I don't care about the money. I care about the sporting spectacle. I want to find the best team in Europe.
Which we've
had.
The
money will filter down to the other countries, making them better.
The sporting spectacle's there. We get the sporting spectacle every year, and it's dreams to get there.
But it's diluted.
Yeah, but remember, these other teams do go into the Europa League. They do go into the Conference League.
I want them in the Champions League.
If they win these games, if they get good enough and they win these games, they go to the Champions League.
No, but they're never going to get good enough if you put them in the Europa League the whole time, because there's no money.
Why not? If they win the Europa League, they get in the Champions League.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Oh, if they do win the Europa League, yeah. But
don't
put them straight in.
They do.
From there, Cypriot champions win their league straight in the Champions League.
But they're not better than. But they're not better than at least 8 teams.
Doesn't matter. They're the champions of their country. Let them represent their country
on
the biggest stage.
In Europe.
No, in the Conference League.
No, they're playing us tomorrow.
I know they are, but I don't want to see that. They should be in.
So then we win.
No.
So
I don't want to see it, but they should just go straight into the Champions League.
So then we win the Champions League, and you want to sit there and watch 30 games that season of us playing.
Not 30.
You want to watch us play random.
12.
You want to watch us play. Well, no, because every country
Less
in Europe,
games.
every champion in there, every country in Europe. So you're going to want to watch the game. And
Less
you're
games.
telling me you want to sit there.
No, 32. And then you go back to old Champions League format.
Oh, so
little group of 4.
So you want to walk a group stage against terrible teams.
Yeah,
that's what we play against. Then
you
will
earn the right because you were champions of Europe.
We won't play anyone good until the semi-finals.
No, you're champions of England. You've earned the right to have easy games and win that Champions League.
That is the most ludicrous
It's not
argument ever.
That's how it used to be.
Do you like the Club World Cup?
Nah. Yeah, it's all right. I like it.
You love it, yeah?
I like the format because it's the winners of the Champions League from every continent play together. Yeah. I like it. Yeah. I'm into it.
I like that because that makes more sense.
I like it. So why not have that at that level?
Because I think you'd have to make another competition.
You have Europa League. Second, third, fourth goes in Europa League. Then it makes the Europa League amazing. Then you want to watch that as well.
I just no. Then you're devaluing all the other clubs in other countries.
Why are you?
Because think about it, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, then don't have literally zero chance to get into Europe.
No, they go to Conference League. Why does 7th get to go in Europe anyway? Fucking 7th. You're 7th. You've been shit, basically. You're the 7th best team in your country. You still get to go to Europe. Fuck off. Top 4 in Europe. That's it.
It's a reward for finishing higher up the table because otherwise,
7th.
yes, because otherwise all it does is reward the big clubs. All it does is reward the big clubs every single time. So at least it gives.
That's what it does anyway.
Yeah, but at least it's a bit of a motivation for Palace or for a Crystal Palace or like a Wolves or something.
So they're going to Conference League.
Or an Everton. Well, they are. That's the whole point. That's why they finished 7th to get in it.
So you have first goes Champions League.
No.
Third, fourth, fifth goes. Second, third, fourth, fifth goes Europa League. 6th and 7th. There you go. Conference League. Sorted. You just have a better Europa League, whatever it is, Europa League, and you have a slightly
But think
easier
about it.
Champions
The teams
League.
that don't do well in the Champions League, they come third in the Champions League group, go into the Europa League anyway.
No, stop that as well. That's all. That's the worst thing about football. Oh, congratulations! You were really shit in the Champions League. Go win the Europa League instead. Why did we win the Europa League in 2013? Because we were shit in the Champions League. We should have just got knocked out. What other sport has that? Oh, you were really bad, so what we'll do is we'll put you in like the second-rate tournament, and then you can win that instead. That's bullshit.
It gives you a chance.
Gives you a fucking chance. If you're shit, you go home. Not, oh, you can just go and win this. All the teams that have qualified for the Europa League through Wrights get through their group stage. Oh, brilliant. Who have we got to play? Oh, Barcelona, because they were shit in the Champions League. Oh, what? Why? Fuck them off. It's bullshit.
That's the only thing you've said in this entire conversation that I can somewhat get behind.
Mate, all of it. Let's change the whole format. It's just UEFA wanting to make loads of money for themselves.
But it does benefit the clubs.
The clubs have money anyway.
No, they don't.
It doesn't benefit the right clubs.
It does though.
It benefits the big clubs.
No, it does benefit little clubs because they've all been able now because they made the Conference League. And whether I don't necessarily agree that we should even like the 6th place teams or the 7th place teams in the big countries should be even in this competition anyway. But
they shouldn't.
But saying that, in the Conference League, I do think that it gives platform for a bunch of other teams that couldn't play in Europe before earn that money for travelling rights and earn that money for TV rights. It's exactly what it is for the football pyramid in England.
But why couldn't they play in Europe anyway? Because they weren't allowed straight in the Champions League.
Because they weren't good enough.
They would have only gotten good enough if you'd have put them straight in the Champions League.
No, but they wouldn't have been good enough because it'd be the most boring match in the world.
But then they get money over time and then they get better.
The whole point of Champions League football and the whole point of having 4 of the best teams in each country go into a league format, and I don't like the league format by the way, but going into a Champions League and playing each other, is because you get to see teams you don't get to see playing against each other playing against each other regularly, but at a high level. I want to watch high level football.
Why would the Europa League not be a high level?
Because then it's so diluted. Like
that's what the Champions League is now.
Yes, it is now, but it wasn't before.
That's my point.
But you weren't angry if we qualify the top 4 and that qualifies for the Champions League.
No, I don't want to finish 4th.
But you weren't sitting there going, "Oh, that was shit. I can't believe we're not playing this competition."
I don't want us to finish 4th.
Well, neither do I. But
I don't want us to finish 4th.
But at least it was something to work towards.
Finish 4th, you get in the Champions League. I don't want to finish 4th. I want to win the league.
But you want to be in the Champions League?
If I win the league only.
Oh, okay.
Only if I win the league.
That is not true.
Only if I win the league.
Yeah, that is
the Champions League is diluted now.
Waffle.
No, change it.
The new
make
format,
it better.
the new league format, I agree. I don't like.
Let's make it better.
But
it's awful.
This whole spark of rage because the Champions League is because it's the best teams in each country play each other, right? In the big leagues, because that's where
why is it not the best team?
Because that's where the quality football is. Because you want to see more than one good game of football in the whole tournament.
So what difference does it make if they play in the Champions League or the Europa League?
Because if I have to watch the champions of Cyprus play the champions of he's another random European, Liechtenstein.
You don't have to watch it, but those countries will watch it.
Yeah, with a small fan base that won't earn them anything because they're going to work that's all they're going to watch anyway.
In the Champions League, they get Champions League money.
No, they don't.
They will.
But if no one watches it, they don't get any money.
They will get money. You just spread the money out from UEFA. You pull it all together, you spread it out. It's really easy to do. I'll sort it out, guys.
Basically, you want the Super League then?
No, because that was a closed off thing. You can't qualify for it. That was shut off, wasn't it? That was like it's these teams and that's it.
Yeah.
No, I want it to be more open. You win your league, you go into the Champions League. I don't think that's the wrong premise, though, is it?
No, but
we talk about quality. That's fine. I get your point about quality. But if I'm a Chelsea fan, I didn't watch Man City v Inter the other day. I don't care about that game. Well, I'm not watching that.
Well, others do.
So Man City and Inter fans watch it.
No, but I know football fans who would have sat there and watched Champions League games anyway.
Nah, not really.
I do.
Semi-final, maybe
I'll watch it.
quarter-final.
If I'm busy, I'm not busy, got nothing to do. I'll sit there and watch the football.
Group games.
Yeah, I will watch it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't do that. You do that.
Yeah.
You would sit there and watch like Atalanta v Arsenal.
Yeah, I think it's good. I like
Did
watching.
you watch it on Thursday?
No, I was busy. I
You didn't watch it.
there's no wonder.
Didn't watch
no,
it.
I didn't even have time to edit the fucking podcast, let alone anything else.
I didn't, mate. I don't know. I don't. You watch your own team, and I think you watch your team, whoever they play. So I don't think that really matters. And I don't know. I just think the premise of the Champions League, if you finish in fourth and winning the Champions League, I don't. It just that has always
That's
kind of bugged me. I don't really
that's
like
an
it.
inspiring story.
When we won the Champions League in 2012, were we the best team in Europe?
No,
We weren't even the best team in
but
London.
it gave us the best moment of my life as a Chelsea
No,
fan.
it did, and I won't say that it didn't. But realistically, we were awful. We finished like 10th that year.
Yep.
We were terrible, and we were terrible the year before. We finished 4th,
We didn't finish 10th that year. We finished
8th or 9th.
6th, I think.
The year we won it.
Yeah, because
thought we were low.
remember Tottenham finished 4th and we finished 6th because that's when Di Matteo took over.
I
The
thought
season
we were lower than that.
season we finished 10th was the Gus Hiddink replacing Mourinho season,
Oh yeah.
and then we finished 10th under Potter and
I
Lampard.
I don't know. I've always struggled with them calling it the Champions League, but you get in it if you finish 4th. I really struggle with that premise. I don't.
But it's no different to saying like that. There's no difference to saying like, okay, you've finished 3rd in your league, now you get promoted to the one above you.
I get that because it's 3 up, 3 down.
But
I get
there
it, I get
technically
that.
isn't a difference because then what you should be saying is if you win,
promotion and relegation,
if you win that league, you deserve to be
No,
in
but
the
it's
Premier
like
League.
if you finished 4th, and so you got 3 that go up.
So imagine it like that, but for qualification to qualify for something, you have to finish in the top 4.
No, but you got 3 that go up, so you don't call all 3 of them champions because they all got promoted.
No, but the 4 that qualify, you don't call 4 of them champions either, do you?
Well, they're in the Champions League.
You go into the best seeded pot because it gives you the best teams then get the first draw of the pot,
But
meaning
what
they then get.
why would you be so upset if that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th went into the Europa League instead?
Because then I wouldn't want to watch the Champions League.
Why? If Chelsea are in it, you'd watch it.
Only because I have to.
But you'd
I wouldn't get excited.
you'd still want to watch the Champions
We
League.
play fucking Barnsley or Barrow, whatever the fuck we're playing on next Tuesday.
I'll watch it.
I'll watch it, but
Yeah, of
I'm
course
not
you will.
excited about it.
Because
I
it's the
get
Champions League.
I get
right?
excited when I get to watch Chelsea Atletico Madrid, or I get excited when I get to watch Chelsea
We'll be in
Barcelona.
the Europa League anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it. You'll get to watch those games. We won't win the league.
Yeah, great for a prize. It's like that doesn't. There's nowhere near as good because there's still a league above it.
Yeah, because you didn't win the league. So why do you get to compete for the best trophy?
Because you've worked hard in the season, and every team deserves more than a reward.
You worked hard to finish
The
4th.
format, the way itself, to get in there, you do have to work hard to finish 4th. It's not easy. Otherwise, we would have done it more than
Man
recently.
City don't have to work hard to finish 4th.
Well, they fucking do.
They could play shit and finish 4th.
That's because they've got a very good team with one of the
saying.
best managers in the world.
Surely they should get some reward for like. You win the league, you get your trophy. That's fine, but
Yeah,
then
you
just
do
go
get
into the
rewards.
Champions
You
League.
get ridiculous amount of money for winning
It's
the
not
league.
loads more than actually like
It is.
the payout down
From
is
second.
pretty.
No. Second, third, and fourth, there isn't much in it.
No.
Between first and second, there is. But
I don't know. It's just my personal opinion. I feel like the Champions League should be for the champions. That's why it's called the Champions League.
yeah, and you get to watch the best teams in Europe play against each other in the best competition
Yeah,
in
the
Europe.
best team. You get to watch the best team from each country.
But the standard of football would be so bad. Like it's just.
Well, it won't be. If you give it 10 years, the money would filter down. Those teams would get better, and good players would still go to them because then they still can play in the Champions League.
No, they wouldn't because they're not getting a chance to play. They'd rather join a team that plays the Europa League then because they're going to play against more good teams.
Are they worried about that, or are they worried about money?
Footballers want to play against the best teams. There's a split, right? You've got the players who fuck off to Saudi very quickly because they want £1 billion, and then you've got the players
That's my
who.
point.
then
Why are
you've
they
got-
all going there?
But then you've got but they're not all going there. Some players are
What?
choosing to stay. Some players are returning down Saudi to play in the Premier League and play the best teams. Look at Raheem Sterling.
That'd be nice.
Look at Romelu Lukaku.
He didn't get an offer.
They both rejected the Saudi league. They both got
Hey.
offers and they rejected it because they wanted to play in
Why did
Europe.
we sell Raheem to the Saudi League?
Could we try to? He said no.
Did we?
Yes.
We tried to buy him off.
We tried to sell him to Saudi
Wow.
and Raheem said no.
Fair play to him. Goes up in my estimation. I'd have probably gone if I was him.
Champions League debut, Raheem said he got a 5.5.
He's not good, is he? He's not a good footballer.
But yeah, I think that is a conversation that has taken every ounce of my energy out of it. I do understand
the point,
I
right?
do understand what you're saying. I just think that for it to be valued the best competition in the world, it has to be displaying the best teams and the best football. You're not displaying the best teams you can display if you pick every single competition winner from every country. Like, it just doesn't work.
No, but you would still have the 4 or 5 best teams in Europe, because you still have Bayern, you still have Real Madrid,
But then it might as well be a pre-season trophy.
No.
I watch those games every year when we go to America and we end up playing Real Madrid, Arsenal, and Barcelona.
Again, football is diluted, isn't it?
And then we play the 3 best teams there, and then we then play Miami Rangers,
Miami Roofers. So they all complain about too much football, but they're all playing 58 pre-season games,
which they don't want to do, by the way.
which they shouldn't do.
Which Maresca even said this pre-season was terrible.
Do you remember when they used to play against like local teams?
Which was better.
Yeah, like Chelsea used to play Reading all the time. It's brilliant.
Yeah, because they actually were able to get fitness rather than using their entire week of training travelling to the next state.
Yeah, football is just all about money nowadays. It bugs me. I don't like it. I know the world is all about money.
It's a business.
It is, but it shouldn't be a business though. Should it?
Well, it's primarily a game.
It should be done
but it's
for non-profit, for the love of the sport. Do it for the game.
I agree that the winner should because how many eyes are on them. I agree the prizes should be big, but like in general, like, you know what I mean. Like,
it just worries me that football is going to become so diluted and purely just money.
Well, it already is. We're in that period.
But worse, like 10 times worse.
But we're literally in that.
Yeah, it's bad though. I don't like it. I'm losing my interest in football now. Bugs me. I'm not losing my interest in football, but I see where it's going to go, and I just don't like it, and I don't think it can be stopped.
It's going to get more and more American.
It's going to get worse, isn't it? It's going to get so bad.
And then we have it.
It genuinely upsets me.
It is shit because it's not because a lot of people won't even play for the love of the game anymore.
No.
They play because they're good at football and they can earn a load of money out of it.
I don't even think the people playing football nowadays are any good at it either.
Well, they are. They're very.
I don't think they are.
I think the average footballer now is better than anything in the last if you go back 10 years ago, the average footballer. So we're talking like a 6 out of 10 footballer now is a lot better than the 6 out of 10 footballer back then.
I think they're better athletes now. They're probably bigger, stronger, and faster, but they're not better footballers.
I think the quality's better, like the base quality. Because if you go back, the reason why I argue at that point, if you go back let's go back 20 years ago.
Yeah, 2004 Ballon d'Or list.
Right. No, the best. Sorry. That is because I think if you put that generation of footballers in this generation now, I don't think they play as well.
Oh mate, they'd be the best by miles.
But hear me out.
Pure talent, you can't take that away.
But just hear me out on this, right?
They probably wouldn't get a game.
But look at the list of teams in the Premier League beforehand, right? And it was very, very clear there was not a hope in hell that 5th and 6th in the Premier League were going to be near points wise for 2nd and 3rd ever. Back in the old Premier League, right? This wasn't a thing. 4th position was like, all right, but top 3, if you maybe 4th and 3rd were quite close, but 1 and 2 were never close to what's behind them. Or like there wasn't as much competition between like 1st and 8. You could name the first 8 every single season. Pretty much. They might swap places. I would probably
disagree with that a little bit.
But
I think the Premier League always used to be won with lower points totals, so it's more condensed.
But now, I think the quality of football is gone up tremendously, and I think the level of a base player is better, because more clubs have good players.
I would go the other way. I think the quality of football is worse because people are relying on stats too much and they're too risk adverse. Nobody shoots from 35 yards anymore.
There's not as many
because they know that there's a chance of scoring a less. There's a more chance if you keep the ball.
The game has become more tactical, rather than more rather than more expressive. It's become more
flair
disciplined.
Players are not a thing anymore.
No, but that's why when you do see flair players, it excites you a bit, right? Like when we see
Mavericks are not.
When we see
anymore.
Palmer and Sancho doing all these skills and tricks, and like Jackson's little back heels around the corners, which always finds a player.
Oh.
Like that, but
that was a step
for fuck's sake! But it's always fun to watch.
I just don't know, mate.
But I think that's a huge conversation that we could spend all night here on.
Yeah.
And I think that we're 50 minutes in. I think that is a good time to wrap up What an interesting last 20 minutes of
We're just going to
conversation
go
that's
have a
been.
fight outside now.
Yeah. Next podcast, Scott's
Joke.
got 2 black eyes.
And Andrew's dead.
Yeah, and I'm not here. I hope you guys enjoy the Beaven podcast.
Love it.
The Beaven and No Lights.
Yes, I won't know how to work the computer, so that'll be the last podcast.
Beaven
we
in
ever
prison.
do. Yeah.
It's a new documentary series
Literally, I
you're
have an
doing.
orange jumpsuit on next week.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
But
I wouldn't. I like it. You're all right. You need to agree with Champions League format, though.
not going to happen. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you ever so much for watching the Beaven and Wright podcast. Let us know your thoughts on the Champions League format. Let us know your
It's a
thoughts
good
on Scott's thoughts. Let you know your thoughts and my thoughts. Let me just know your thoughts. What's going on in your world? Is everything okay? So,
Not okay. We're not okay.
I'm not okay. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, everyone, and we'll talk to you in the next video. Goodbye. I don't know what the hell that goodbye was, but we'll go with it anyway.